free GitHub, Azure DevOps productivity updates, Jedi Contract, and more. This is the M&AN Show. Hello everyone, and welcome along to the new episode of the M&AN Show. Thank you very much for joining me today. Please take a moment to subscribe to this channel and like the video with the button below so you can support me in the creation of the content for this channel. But let's start with the first news. It's a pretty popular news and it's about GitHub. GitHub is now free for teams. We're happy to announce we're making private repositories with unlimited collaborators available to all GitHub accounts. All of the core GitHub features are now free for everyone. This means teams can now manage their work together in one place: CI/CD, project management, code review, packages, and more. We're also reducing the price of our paid team plan from $9 per user per month to $4 per user per month, effective immediately. As I mentioned, this news has been all over the place, all over internet. Everyone is talking about this because it's actually a really huge and good news. All private repositories are now completely free with an unlimited number of collaborators. And this is a huge news for all the startups, small companies, or anyone that wants to have private Git repositories completely for free. There are still a need for paid licenses if you are a big enterprise and you need enterprise features like SAML authentication, for example, or code ownerships or something like that. You would need a more advanced license like the Teams license. It's almost 50% of the price, so from $9 to $4 per user per month. Your bill will be slashed in the next months, in the next billing cycle. I think it's a very good news for everyone, and again, this is why it's been all over the place everywhere. The next news is about Azure DevOps and some productivity updates. Azure DevOps updates to increase productivity and reduce latency. An update to Azure DevOps has been shipped, which includes improvements to pull request actionability, pipeline security and compliance, and npm APIs performance to increase productivity and reduce latency. This is part of the normal release cadence in Azure DevOps. As you may know, Azure DevOps releases happen every 3 to 4 weeks. There have been quite a few performance and latency improvements, but I think there are two main features that stands out. The first one is one of the highest requested features on Azure pipelines, and specifically on the YAML pipelines or the multi-stage pipelines. Until now, when you set up an approval gate for your pipeline to progress from one stage to another or from one environment to another in a YAML pipeline, that was visible at the portal level or through APIs, but the users or the groups of users that are in charge of approving those gates were not notified. Now, with this new release, finally, the users and the groups receive an email and a notification to allow them to basically know that they have to do something, in this case, access the portal and approve the gate. That was, of course, available in the classic pipelines, the pipelines you manage using the UI, but until now, that was not available for YAML pipeline. Finally, this is out there. And I think the rollout of this release is still in progress. So if you don't see it yet, just wait for a few days and you will have it in your Azure DevOps account. The other feature that are worth mentioning here is the automatic synchronization between GitHub issues and Azure board. In fact, the team has released a new GitHub action that takes care of that. Every time you create a new issue in your GitHub repository or project, it will read that issue and basically create a new work item into Azure boards. And so you can still use your open source flows in GitHub, but still manage your work in the Azure boards like you do today for enterprise projects or something like that. Of course, those are not the only two features that have been released. There is a bunch of new features for pull requests. There's other things in Azure pipelines, for Azure artifacts, about auditing, about security, and in general, about latency in the whole platform. So go and check out the link in the description below so you can check out everything that has been released. Let's move to the next news, which is about the Jedi Contract. If you don't know what the Jedi Contract is, a $10 billion contract that the Department of Defense of the United States had issued for their cloud migrations and their cloud projects. All the biggest player in the cloud space were of course interested in that. And it went down at the end between Azure and Amazon Web Services. and it was then awarded to Microsoft for the Azure platform. Let's dig into the news. Pentagon watchdog clears Microsoft Cloud win over Amazon. The Defense Department's watchdog found no evidence that the Pentagon's controversial decision to award a $10 billion cloud computing contract to Microsoft was the result of interference from President Donald Trump. The 317-page report, issued Wednesday by the Inspector General's office, also found that giving the Jedi Contract to a single company was consistent with applicable acquisition standards. There was a legal dispute that Amazon filed because they felt like the United States President Donald Trump may have interfered with the decision process for awarding this contract. And they also said that this contract maybe shouldn't have been awarded to a single company, but probably split across different companies. Defense Department watchdog now, after investigation, found that not only the President Trump didn't actually interfere with a decision, so the fact that this contract is being awarded to Microsoft is legit, but also that they are basically not going to split the contract across different companies, because this was anyway compliant to their policy. And of course, this is a very good thing for Microsoft, because we talk about $10 billion worth of cloud contract. Microsoft won this bid, and apparently the DoD confirmed that this contract will go to Microsoft. So again, good news for the company. And let's go to the last news for today, which is about Azure DevOps and TFS patches. This month, we are releasing patches that impact our self-host products, Azure DevOps Server 2019, as well as TFS, Team Foundation Server 2018. There are no security patches in here, so the security in this case was not affected, but we talk about feature-related patches. There are two different patches, of course. One is for Azure DevOps and one is for TFS. The one for Azure DevOps Server is the Azure DevOps Server 2019.1.1 patch 2, while the one for TFS, for Team Foundation Server, is the TFS 2018 update 3.2 patch 10. There are, of course, a bunch of features and fixes in those two patches. I'm not going to go through them. You can check the link in the description below if you want to go and check all the single things that have been changed in these patches. And of course, if you want to download them to apply to your environments. As a side note, I would really recommend you to update to the latest patches for either Azure DevOps Server and TFS. And if you're still in TFS, maybe you can consider migrating to Azure DevOps Server, so you will have all the latest features, all the latest security, and especially if you want to keep up with the latest things, with the latest feature, with the latest security measures, go and upgrade to Azure DevOps Server and to this latest patch for Azure DevOps Server 2019. All right, that's all for today. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below if you have any feedback or comment. Please remember to like and subscribe so you can support me in creating more content for this channel. Thank you very much again for joining me today, and see you soon at Coder Dave.